Welcome, everyone. Once again, it's Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. You know what that means. Outlawed Live, talking anything and everything. Outlaw truck and tractor pulling. Tonight, got a busy show lined up. Got the gentleman, the owner and CEO of Kaiser Wheels on tonight. I'm going to be talking about Kaiser pulling wheels, some of the new wheels, the new lines that have come out for truck pulling, not just tractor pulling, but truck pulling. Kaiser Wheels, a awesome sponsor. They make wheels for racing as well, circle track racing, sprint cars, and things like that as well. So we'll have Wade on tonight. Also, we've got When the Smoke Clears. Mike will not be here tonight, but we are featuring Adam Serve, the 3200 super field class. And I think we got Adam lined up to come on tonight as well. Also, a big announcement today came out officially. We have on the schedule let me find it here. The South Dakota State Fair. The Outlaws will be back at the South Dakota State Fair this year. Monday, September the 1st, sponsored by American Bank and Trust. 5 classes there in South Dakota, here on South Dakota at the great South Dakota State Fair. Haven't been there. I think it's been 6 years. 2019, I think, was the last time we were there. We were scheduled to be there in 2020. COVID happened. They were still going to have the pool, but it got rained out. So haven't been there since 2019. So it's been 6 years. So it will be awesome to be back there at the great South Dakota State Fair, September the 1st, Labor Day, 2025. What's going on out there, everybody, in Outlaw Nation? The lines are open here. Randy Barker says, good afternoon. Aviation Lover 2013 says hello. Thanks for checking in. I've got all our super fans. I'm sure they'll be checking in tonight as well. So here in about 5-10 minutes, we'll bring Wade on with Kaiser Wheels. You've seen the Kaiser wheels on the tractors where they'll color key the center part of the hub or the planetary, the same color as the tractor. Just beautiful wheels, forged, American made, right in the state of Iowa. So pretty cool deal. Kaiser Wheels been around for a while. Great product, and they're growing and expanding, and not just in tractor pulling. Going to be making wheels for trucks too. I know two-wheel drive trucks. One of the customers I think so far is Whitey Zychek, Robert Zychek, has a set now, as well as oh shoot, who is it? Four-wheel drive pickup, Ford pickup. Who is it, guys? Went to the Farm Machinery Show. He's sporting a set of those new wheels as well. Let's see. Got a lot of people checking in all at once here. Cole Lundahl, super fan, checking in from Wakefield, Nebraska. Ben Beller checking in from Kansas. Good evening. Robert Miner from Nebraska. Mark Willis watching from Carrollton, Missouri. We're just knocking all the states out here. Tina Berger and Eric watching from Wilbur, Nebraska. Robert Miner, what are all the classes running in the Outlaws? Are you talking about in general, like all the classes we offer, Robert? You talking about at the South Dakota State Fair? If you're talking the South Dakota State Fair, we can go back and look at the flyer here. I know Light Superstock Ag is going to be there. Light Superstocks, the Alki Supers will be there. Modified four-wheel drive, naturally aspirated two-wheel drive. And I should know this. I booked this pull, but let me pull the schedule out here. And I can tell you exactly what's going to be there. Sheesh, I need my reading glasses. Don't anybody laugh out there. South Dakota State Fair, September the 1st. Light Limited Mod, that's the one. Light Limited Mod. So 5 classes at the great South Dakota State Fair this year. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, Robert, was the classes at the fair. Andrew Sprock, how's it going, Andrew? Two-wheel drive puller. Chris Pierce, what's up? Good to see everybody in the house tonight. And like I said, we'll have Adam Serve on a little bit later. He is in the spotlight for the 3200 Super Field class. These guys don't get a whole lot of press. So we'll feature them tonight in When the Smoke Clears. If we have any Case fans out there, you'll enjoy that portion of the show. So let me go back here and pull this out here. Got the new graphic up there for Ag Protect 1. If anybody out there needs insurance, crop insurance, on your pulling vehicle, on your rig, on your hauler, even on the parts inside your hauler, go to Ag Protect 1. They'll take care of you. Free quotes. Contact Derek Barchi at 937-620-4960. Or you can scan that QR code if I leave it up there, or go to Derek Barchi at premiercropins.com. Ag Protect 1, new sponsor for us this year as well. They have a great product. They also have rainout insurance for all the promoters out there. They're looking to have that peace of mind, not trusting Mother Nature. You want to get rainout insurance. Derek can get you a rainout quote as well. Ag Protect 1. So get back to the comments here. In general, has anyone signed? Oh, yeah. I don't have that list. That's a Lori Bauer thing there. But yes, we do have a couple of new classes this year, adding to the mix the Superstock Diesel four-wheel drive pickups and the limited Mighty Minis, the 1,400 horse small block mini rods. Be pulling with us this year as well. Look for both those classes to grow in the future. Kind of hard to get a new class to take off right off the bat. You got to sell that to the promoters, and the promoters are always a little bit skeptical. They're like, we don't want to try something new, and they let somebody else try it. And when they see it's a great class, then they want it the next year. I'll give you, for example, the Pro Stock Semi class. So people were a little scared of it at first. The numbers still aren't up there where we want them to be yet, but there are some guys building, there are some guys buying. So we're expecting that class to continue to grow, and I think we're at 15 hooks with that class this year. So pretty awesome how that class has grown. Cole Lundahl, thank you. The Ritters. I don't know why I had a block there. I couldn't think of Dustin and Doug Ritter. They finished second at the National Farm Machinery Show. So thank you, Cole. Austin Foote, good evening from Larchwood, Iowa, home of Sweet Pain. So, yeah, we're getting close to getting that final schedule out there. So just hang loose. You know, we've got a few contracts out there, possibly some classes moving just a little bit. So we will see a couple of promoters that have received bids for events. And we want to make sure before we go out and say, hey, this is the final schedule, before we put it out there. We always put out a tentative schedule, but also remember, tear those up, throw them away, delete them, whatever, once that final schedule comes out. We don't want there to be any discrepancy from an old tentative schedule to the new final schedule. So without further ado here, I think he's out of makeup here. We'll bring Wade in from Kaiser Wheels out of Iowa. Wade, how's it going tonight?
Great. How are you?
Doing great. I saw you eating. I was trying to give you time there.
Yeah, I had to sneak my taco. I had to get a little supper in there quick.
Good deal. Good deal. Your last name, is it Huisman?
You know, there's some people that pronounce it Huisman, Heisman. We kind of go with the Heisman a little bit, kind of like the trophy. That's kind of easy.
Like the trophy, huh?
Yeah, it makes it easy for anybody that comes across it. So, but we don't get tore up if somebody chops it up pretty bad.
Man, I tell you what, I just had a thought, man. If you ever did like a special promo at a pull or something, we could call it the Heisman Award for.
Right. Yeah.
That would be cool. Fred Petch checking in, watching from Milford, Nebraska. So what's new at Kaiser Wheels, man? You got some new stuff coming out.
Yeah. Had a busy off season, busy spring. And we finally got around to doing some 16.1 stuff, expanding the 15-inch line. So we'd been really working on this for years, and the overall fire situation happened, put a big stop in those plans. So I think we had been talking about it for four years or so. Every time the performance racing industry show would come around, and then we'd have to, tell everybody, well, we're going to try to do it again this year. We're going to try to do it again this year. And finally, we actually got some movement on it. Certainly got a few things to work out and a few small changes to make a few sizes in certain halves to fill the voids with, but we got a great start. So we got some flow, we got some customers fitting tires. So we're learning a lot about the, mini rod game, the 2-wheel drive trucks, and we're doing the 4-wheel drive trucks too. So it'll be like the tractor stuff. We'll make changes through the years as we go here, and we'll get dialed in. It is a 3-piece wheel, just like our tractor stuff. So very flexible if guys need to change halves, change offsets, even change bolt patterns. That sort of thing is going to be a lot easier with our system, and give guys a good platform to work on. And then hopefully we can give the tire mounter something in the back pocket like we did with the big tractor wheel, and make their lives a lot easier. Make it a good functional wheel that they can work with, and not spend hours, mounting up one rim and tires. So, working on all those things. We're slowly getting dialed in, and we're happy to see a few sets be out in the track this year and have some fun with it.
Now, are you the only wheel company that makes pulling wheels, that makes them with these inserts where you can change the bolt pattern and things like that?
As far as I know, yes. I believe that's, we're the only one. Real maybe do something similar with one of their lines, but I'm not really too familiar. I haven't paid attention. We just kind of figured out what we needed to service and took, what we do with all our other lines and kind of just applied it here. So not really positive what's all out there. We just kind of concentrate on what we do.
Now, where you work there in Iowa, what's the town?
So we're in Alton. Yeah, we're actually our new facility is in Alton, Iowa, which is, we kind of call it a suburb of Orange City. Is kind of how you could explain it. They're two neighboring towns that are pretty much grown together at this point in time. So, which is just 10 miles away from our old shop. I'm maybe 20 minutes away from Taylor at Extreme Performance and Tire Cutting. So we're real close in proximity here. That's kind of how we got hooked up at the beginning of time. So. That's where the facility's at. So if anybody is around, if somebody comes early for, Thunder in the Valley or something in our area, Spencer Tractor Pull, and they want to see our facility and they want to stop in, we do give tours. We can show them the big machines that we actually make the tractor wheels on and the truck wheels on. So it's always an invite open to our customers, and we enjoy showing them what we do and what we put into our business.
Now, the fire you had recently, did that take everything out and you had to start all over, or to take out a portion?
Yeah, it took 100% of all of our production equipment out, and probably about 75% of our inventory. So some saving graces would be that our tractor inventory survived it, and a lot of our sprint and late model inventory for our dirt track lines survived it. And then we had some things fall into place, which one would be a building, and some other equipment, specialty equipment that we just got lucky on finding. And that kind of paved the way to our survival, I guess you could say. So 2021, May I believe is when we burnt down. And every year another year goes by and you get to that point, you're like, man, it doesn't seem like that far away. But we started looking around the building and see how full it is now, and all the stuff we've added and the lines we've added. So the team has put in a lot of work. The guys have put in a lot of work, and it's in the end, I wouldn't want to do it again, but there was a lot of silver linings to it. Simple stuff like just having to wait around during COVID. So you couldn't do anything. So then we looked at redesigning stuff, and just kind of gave us, time we didn't want on the sideline, but time we utilized on the sideline.
Yeah, that timing, and that stinks with COVID.
It wasn't an easy time.
Those
right, and everybody had money. They were all trying to spend money, right? They were all getting checks, and they weren't spending it on fuel and blowed up motors and other stuff. So they just wanted to stockpile parts. So it really was a great time for anybody that had equipment in hands. They could sell it, and people were ready to buy for sure.
So now, do you make your wheels from start to finish in-house there?
Yes, we do. Yep. So we do. A lot of people don't realize they got this picture of how a wheel is made, and whether it's poured or cast or machined. But when they come in and see the big sheets of aluminum and a perfect flat sheet, and then how we roll form that into the wheel half, It's kind of an interesting art to watch, and how that machine. I still love watching it to this day, and I've been watching it for 25 years. Watching those blanks get spun down, and it's quite the process. Take that soft piece of aluminum, spin it down, heat treat it several times in several different processes, and then go into the polishing and the cutting and all that. So there's actually probably a lot more that goes into it than people realize. So it's kind of a labor of love until the end.
So I mean, your wheels, I think you have the best looking wheels out there in the pulling world. But your bread and butter is racing, I'm guessing, like sprint car racing or circle
Yeah,
racing.
it's bloomed. I think that's kind of where our roots were. We started off with a 600 micro sprint, which is just a small, very small sprint car, and we bloomed from there. So yeah, dirt track was where we started, 25, 30 years ago, our base. But now we are a true custom performance race wheel shop. So I do a ton of sand drag and drag race applications, a ton of UTV racing stuff, little formula cars, road racing, you name it, anything that can probably within their rules utilize a lighter wheel that's going to give you a performance advantage. We probably play with that market in one way or another.
Awesome. Chuck Cleveland had a question. He's asking if you'll have wheels for the Pro Stock 4x4 class, 15 to 16 inch diameter, 10 to 12 inches wide.
Yes. So we have the 15-inch stuff now. We've serviced a fair amount of guys. That's actually one of the wheels we do the best. That 15 by 10, right in there is a great little wheel. We got a lot of different center options, a lot of different looks. It's a real nice wheel. Full-fledged speed locks if the guys want to go that way. The 16 has been on our mark for a long time. We have some tooling done for it. We first want to get the 16.1s in production, but now the next focus is on that 16-inch wheel, and it'll be kind of a sister to the 15. They'll utilize the same wheel centers, so the guys can jump back and forth. Yep, that'd be a 15-inch wheel right there. Different center inserts to get you to the different bolt patterns and service the different classes.
So, that's a good looking wheel. I mean, that looks like a custom wheel right there. As far as I know, you guys are the only ones making wheels like this.
It is truly a custom piece. I don't stockpile that wheel. When we get the order in, then we're going to cut, the pieces to your offset, the bolt pattern, the center hole. We take all those specs and plug it into your order, and it goes to the back room. So, it is a little bit of a process right now where our guys have probably worked our workload down to the shortest ever did. We're on about a week to 2 week lead time, and going into this time of the year, that's incredible. And it's not because we aren't busy, because these guys have put out, our 4 biggest months in history these last 4 months. So my team is doing awesome. The steps and everything we put in and finally caught up out of our $1 million backlog of wheels that we had after the fire is just slowly, month after month, we just kept chipping away. And, a big shout out to, all of our tire guys that have been really patient, through those fire months. And then, they got a bunch of different tire options in the tire world. So everybody was trying everything, and they were throwing, this at it, that at it, this offset, this width. And so that little frenzy on top of everything else, got us to like a 3-month backlog, and we were putting out a tremendous amount of wheels, but that backlog wouldn't go away. Now, finally, we're actually getting even the track orders down to about a 3 to 6 week Mac lead time. 3 is kind of normal if we're out of a part, kind of 6, and we're starting to work ahead on different inventories for them. So I'd imagine, as we get through the truck and mini rod world, as we get through those years, those lead times will change dramatically too. We'll be more adept at what's common, what's not. This part we're going to spend 60 of those, and this part we're going to spend 30 of those, and that'll last us a season. And you'll learn that stuff as the season goes on, and what your flow rate is, what parts you need, which parts you don't, and then you just get more prepared for each year of war.
Now, can you do custom inserts in your wheels? Is that something you can do?
We don't do custom looks, right? So that's just an animal. We have to hold so much inventory already that we're not a custom looks company. We're a custom measurement, right? So that's what we concentrate on, is giving you the lightest, strongest piece and fitting all these crazy dimensions that somebody will throw at you in your specs. So yeah, not look wise, but size wise.
How about the type of aluminum you use? We've got one of our watchers curious about the type of aluminum that you use in these wheels.
Sure. So we use all 6061. We start with an oak condition temper, but it's all 6061. Right now we're 100% stateside. I don't know that'll be that way forever. It's not that there's not great competent mills across the U.S. What a lot of people don't know is these tariffs are tearing companies like us up right now. So we're fortunate enough to where we've been doing this long enough that we buy in deep enough and we can get through these little humps without having the extreme highs and lows. But what's happening with the tariffs and is very hard on a lot of manufacturing companies. The one gripe I got about it, Trump supporter, but the one gripe I got about it is when he fires up and said, well, we're going to make our own steel and aluminum. Sure, we have foundries here in the U.S., but those foundries don't plan to expand. In fact, they threaten to shut down every time there's a dip in the aluminum, right? It takes about 10 years to put up a steel or aluminum smelting operation and plant where they can roll out material. And there's not one started here in the U.S. So we don't plan to increase our volume. We don't plan to build any plants. There's been no announcement on that. These are all worldwide companies. We deal with Alcoa. It was Alcoa for years. Now it is called, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, we deal with this company from the U.S. for years, but they have plants in every continent, right? They're an international company, which a lot of these big places are. So it's just a game. I mean, we bring those tariffs in, and bang, all that happens is a tax. So yeah, I'm not buying aluminum from overseas, but right away my price goes whoop, exactly where that tariff was, down like that. All it did is allow them to scalp the price. So yeah, I mean, I get the war, I get the battle. I'm a team player, but it also stings, and it's a direct tax on you guys. We can float this for a while, but that 6061 oak condition material that's used, 6061 is used on a lot of stuff. All your pots and pans are either a 50 series or a 60 series. We deal with a company that imports a lot of material from Hong Kong that supplies all of 5052. They've been trying to get us to come on board. We did some sample runs with them. Material checked out great. Everything was going to be great. We were going to save 20 to 40 cents on going through Hong Kong on this great material. Bang, the tariffs come. Now it's like 20 cents more than everything in the States here. So yeah, constant battle. 6061 T6 is what we start with, the big billet centers. The wheel parts, again, are all oak condition, and we have to go through a heat treating process to get them up to our temper that we need, so we can polish on them, race on them, machine on them, do all that stuff. So yeah, we do some other novelty stuff in some magnesiums, and we deal with some 2024s, 7075s, but 6061 is the primary alloy that we use.
Now, do you do repair work on the wheels? I mean, you've obviously seen these tractors will get into the concrete barriers sometime and ding a wheel up. Do you do any repair work on those, or?
Really, after something like that happens, it's pretty much done for. I mean, outside of a mallet hammer trying to get it back close to where it was, you're pretty much got what you got, right? So, and the great thing is that's why there are multiple pieces. You can just buy a part, fix it up, and be on your way.
Sure, yeah. I'm showing the 16 ones here now.
Yeah, we do the 20 bolt, direct mount style planetary. You can get the inserts like you see there, 5 lug, 6 slug, 8 lug, you name it. We're able to service it at this point in time.
Okay. Awesome. And how does one go about ordering a set of wheels from you? Is it easier just to call? Or email? Yeah,
so if they stop in at the website, they'll be able to go check out a lot of this stuff online and see it. From that, we're going to direct you down to one of the tire cutters. I'm going to either suggest that you go to Taylor Extreme Tire Cutting and Performance, or up to Wisconsin to Hawthorne Tire Cutting. One of them two guys is going to send you in a direction and get you the info we need. And they're really the ones that are going to give us the information and gather the information on the sizes we need to carry and all this fun stuff. For us, really, when we made our barrel into this industry, we really depended and utilized, those distributors to help us with the knowledge that we didn't have. Right. So, being a dirt track sprint car guy, I'd never been to a tractor pull, but Taylor brought a wheel over and set it in the shop. And I knew from the instant he set it down, it wasn't hard to tell that we could greatly outdo what was brought over the shop. So that was the easy part. The hard part with us is knowing all the sizing, making sure it mounted and dismounted properly, gelled with the new tires that are coming through. Like that's the dance. And so yeah, we rely heavy on those guys. So, any of our new products, we'll answer some questions that we can online, but more than likely you're going to end up in their backyard anyway, talking with them and working through all the ins and outs, because you're going to need tires anyway. And a lot of guys want them help mounted, and that's where those guys, that's what they do. They specialize in that.
Yeah, I saw one of the wheels here. I think it was part of the attachment that did actually have the weight. It was like 17 pounds on one of the wheels there. How does that compare to, say, the wheels that you've seen in the past come through, where somebody says, I want something a little lighter?
Yeah. So, I think as we get deeper into it, we may offer a couple different thicknesses as we don't right now. It kind of, we have the product we have. But some of that stuff, like I said, I don't necessarily go out and say, well, our competitor does it this way, so that's what we're going to do. I think you can really pigeonhole yourself that way. I think it has to make sense on a bunch of different levels, and it has to function correctly on a bunch of different levels to service your not only your customers, but your tire guys, and make their lives easier too. Right. So, I haven't really concentrated on exactly, hey, it's this way, it's that way. I first concentrate on making a good comparable product that we know is going to, do our work here. And then we look at doing those things. And we could be on the other side of it, right? Some of the, wide 4-wheel drive truck wheels, we're working through some kinks with those and wondering, well, do we need to jump up a thickness here? Are we good? So you learn that stuff. We might be short in some areas too, right? We're by no means a perfect wheel, and you learn those things as guys get hooks on them and they go through the seasons, and you get feedback from the tire guys on what to do, what not to do, and we'll constantly change. But as far as just going out and studying exactly how the other guys do it, I don't get too in depth in that. I just really concentrate on doing the best we can internally and making the whole puzzle work internally, and then applying that to the customer base and going from there.
Now, how about stock? Like on these new wheels, like the 15-inch truck wheels, how are you stocked on those right now? Chuck Cleveland, who commented there earlier and asked about if you had those, he lives in Iowa. If he called you, could he come up and pick up a set tomorrow?
Yeah, usually this time of year, especially just because we're coming into the springtime, and this is like our peak season, right? So this is all hands on deck. Don't ask for vacation now, that type of deal. And we see right now, like I said, my guys are doing really awesome, and we're probably a week to 2 weeks out on build, depending. Some of the 16.1 sizes, we have all the common ones, but we're seeing some oddball stuff come in, some weird offset stuff. Some of those pieces we may have to say, okay, we have it on our sheet. It's not in yet, but we have it on our sheet. We just have to spin that depth half, and then we'll put that in inventory. So that one might take 3 or 4 weeks. We had some guys that were very patient with us. They came to PRI December, put their order in, and we've just filled it in the last couple of weeks. It was one of them oddball sizes that we finally got to. But now that, we get everything in and we get the flow going, we're within a couple of weeks delivery on most of this stuff. So that's a good feeling. The 15-inch especially, we're really dialed in on that, and we're getting more and more of the 16.1 stuff on the shelf as we go too. So, and then lastly will be the 16s that'll come.
Okay. Awesome. I'm going to throw some more pictures up here again, just so people just tuning in can see these. This is the 15-inch truck pulling wheel. This is a 15 as well. That's a good looking wheel right there.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. It's any black wheel is hot right now, right? So I just got a Chevy truck, drop the chrome wheels off on it, put black on there. That may change over time, but right now it's kind of it's kind of the look and kind of what people like. I think it's kind of a sexy piece. I believe it's a little easier to keep those things looking like they do out of the box as the years go by. You know, that shiny aluminum's a labor of love, man. It looks nice when it comes out, but any aluminum will oxidize, right? Like for us to try to clear coat that big old barrel on a tractor wheel or anything else, it would just be a mess, right? And then the guys would try to polish them up and they'd have to deal with that clear coat. Well, any aluminum is eventually going to oxidize and, you know, and change its look. So you're going to have to stay ahead of it. So definitely a labor of love.
Anybody that's ever polished their own set of like wheels on a semi, like some Alcoa wheels, knows they look like they just come out of the coal mine when you get done. It's
100%. And so we've changed things around. It's kind of a funny inside story, right? And I'm sure we've had some customers battle this, and we do offer to power coat some centers for free if they send them in. But you know, we've battled some issues in the tractor wheel industry through the last 15 years, and we finally got to figure it out. We were having an anodized issue where we send a nice set of anodized centers out to a customer, and by the end of the summer, they come back and these things had changed color. And we really, you know, would go back and forth with the anodized company, and well, you know, it met all the specs and the testing and the UV testing and back and forth. Well, after a series of fires happened across the country with not only guys hauling stuff, tractors, wheels and tires on the way home, we had a shop burn up. We had several other very close calls. What we figured out is just by chance, the two things, the angle of our 32 and 38 inch wheels on the outside of it and the overall polish basically turned that thing into a magnifying glass. And we burned truck beds up on the way home. Guys would be going home with a brand new set of wheels and tires, and they'd be on the way home. They look back in the trailer, and the whole thing's burst into flames. What? Right. So then, what was happening to the wheel centers is all that, you know, guys would have their stuff set out on a, you know, Saturday all day long, and the sun would just keep pounding on it, you know, 9,500 degrees, and that thing would just cook itself. The UV, you know, the extreme UVs would just hit it and, you know, just melt the anodize away. So, you know, it's like stuff like that. You just figure out after a while, well, we can't anodize it anymore. We got to powder coat it, right? So problem solved, but you learn the hard way on that. But, yeah, the fire thing is a real issue. And so I guess I'd say it as a public service, like, yeah, just be aware like that, you know, those fresh, shiny wheels like that, they kind of prism into a certain area and yeah, it can be a dangerous situation for sure.
Wow, that's crazy. That's
yeah, definitely.
Huh. Sorry, I'm pulling something up here.
Oh, you're good.
Okay. Let me get out of this and I'll come back there. So how does one get a hold of you to get a set of wheels?
KaiserWheels.com. You can get on there and look at pretty much anything we got there, whether it's a little garden tractor, you know, or the biggest of the big. You come on there, you'll be able to see everything on there. And then from there, you know, if you go to our dealer section, you'll find different outlets you can call. And you know, we have two major distributors in the tractor pulling world, but you know, pretty much any of the tire guys that are out there, you know, have figured out a way to get our wheels and tires from those two main outlets. So, you know, whether it's a Mayhill customer, you know, you can get it done. Chad can get you hooked up, you know, whether it's a Nichols customer, you know, those guys have access, you know, through their connections and stuff in there. So, you know, they all work pretty good together and, you know, trying to get these guys what they want in a timely manner. So yeah, it's been a blessing for us that all those guys that I've mentioned have been super to work with, super patient through our busy seasons. And now I feel like we're finally getting caught up and a lot of that inventory on the shelf. And I think we're going to be able to really make their lives easier, you know, in the next 5 years, like they made ours easier in the last 5 years.
Cole Lundall's got a question here. I actually was going to ask you this a little bit ago. What kind of success are you seeing overseas? Are you getting a lot of orders in Europe?
Yes, we do. We actually got a few different container loads that have went over there over the last couple of years, and it's kind of just a steady as you go market, right? They got some big expenses in bringing stuff over there too. they're these tariffs that we're fighting and stuff, those, whether it's the Netherlands or, somewhere in Europe, those guys fight pretty big costs.
Value added tax over
Right. They have, and I think that's ultimately that's Trump's goal, is just give us an even playing field. Hey, you want to bring your stuff in here? Great. Let us bring our stuff in there. Like, all the way down to the Canadian thing is kind of funny just to hear how they're all squawking. But yeah, we have free trades with them. But after a certain amount that runs out, our milk and our eggs and our beef just get slaughtered compared to them. And it's not an equal playing field. So, let them all squawk. We'll be fine. We'll weather through it. We're good, strong Americans, and we're going to team up and get the job done. Doesn't mean there's going to be little pains along the way, but it's part of the game.
Well, Wade, I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. Those wheels look awesome. I know you're going to sell a lot of them. Guys are going to they're always looking for something a little bit different too, and sure. Your wheels stand out amongst the others that are out there. So,
I appreciate anybody giving us
West too, man. Great having you close.
Right. And I appreciate anybody giving a shot. Looking for a lot of feedback, looking for teams to help us, get it dialed in and get us to that long pull.
Awesome. Wade, thanks so much for coming on tonight, buddy. And we'll see you around this summer, I hope. I know you're a busy guy. You're hard to nail down sometimes, but you're going to races and tractor pulls and all kinds of stuff. But I do appreciate you coming on tonight.
Absolutely. Appreciate everything you guys do too.
Thanks, Wade.
You bet. Talk soon.
Wade Huisman out of Iowa there with Kaiser Racing Wheels. Go to kaiserwheels.com. He'll get you fixed up on those new four-wheel drive, whether it's pro stock or modified four-wheel drive pickup or two-wheel drive, the 15s, 16.1s that are out now. So not just tractor tire wheels anymore, but truck pulling, two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive as well. If you don't want to contact them directly, you can also get them through one of their suppliers. As he said, the tire businesses like Extreme Performance can also set you up too. He said they're 20 miles from Extreme Performance's shop in Rock Valley, so they can set you up with a set of those beautiful wheels as well. So Zook Fukerberg checking in. Jimmy Cotton, what the heck are you talking about, Zook? I don't know what's going on here. Parade Alley Lounger checking in for 2 nights in a row. Somebody mentioned something last night about they had a good show last night. I sat in with Mike on Let's Grow Pulling and interviewed Ken Summers, limited pro stock puller. Then I hung around a little bit longer because Mike, when he popped in at 8 o'clock to do the rest of the show, he had an whole hour of show to go, and he just sounded terrible. His throat, he's got some kind of a sore throat or something, and I thought he's not going to make it. So I hung around with him last night and helped him out on the show just to kind of save his voice a little bit. Here it is. Randy Barker was talking about last night's show, full of good info and interesting stuff there. Appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, Zook Fuker, he tagged a friend of his. How's it going, Doug Both down there? Hope you're gearing up, getting ready for Lindsay, Texas down there in June. We haven't been down there since, 2020? So it's been 5 years since we've been there. Going to be a big show down there. So without further ado here, I want to go ahead and do the When the Smoke Clears. The only thing I'm missing here is the bio, but you know what? We're going to go ahead and show you the video here, and we don't need no stinking bio. We got Adam Serve on deck. We're going to have him come on. We'll just talk to him. How about that? So in When the Smoke Clears tonight, you're looking at Adam Serve with his case, the Dark Knight 3200 Superfield. Well, that was supposed to be a video. There it is. Case Dark Knight tractor, 3200 super field tractor, and still waiting on him to pop in here. I sent him the link, but he has not come on yet. So any Case fans out there? I'm a Case fan, so I always kind of root for this tractor a little bit when he's out there pulling. The old Case tractor is always known to have high gears, a little bit higher gear than a lot of the other tractors out there. So let me look through my media assets here and make sure I'm not missing this bio. Yeah, I don't think he had it loaded up here. So any questions out there about Kaiser Wheels? Man, those are some good looking wheels. You got to admit, those are the best looking wheels out there in the pulling world, no doubt. All right, I do not have the bio here, and I don't see Adam backstage. Let me send him a little message here. Let's see. All right, I sent him a message here. Zook says 2014 last true outlaw show. Well, you had a couple outlaw classes in 2020. I remember going down there for that weekend there. That was during COVID. It was kind of funny. That was, I think, that was my second trip to Texas, and went down there and a convenience store. I wasn't big on wearing the masks during the COVID outbreak, and went up to a convenience store window, or was getting ready to go in the door, and their signs said you can't come in unless you have a mask on. I was like, great. Went back to the truck, grabbed a mask, and walked in. I was the only one with a mask on. Nobody in there. I mean, it was in Texas, for crying out loud. Nobody had a mask on, but it was kind of cool. So I actually had a Case Hot Farm before the Griffin. It was named my ass is dragging. Awesome. So I was looking at the calendar today. I think we're like 81 days, something like that, away from the first bull of the season in Ravenna, Nebraska. Stay tuned. That final schedule is coming out here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I promise you. We just want to make sure we have all the moving parts and pieces in place before we put out that schedule and put that final designation on it. So I'm pretty excited about this upcoming season. We get to go to Illinois a couple times this next summer, which is pretty cool. Get to cross the big river and go over and pull in the land of Lincoln. So I'll have to get on Mike here. He didn't put my bio in here. He got the video and the picture, but no bio. So, and Adam, I don't know if he's having problems, but he says he's ready, but let's see. So I know some people, when they come on the show, there's the last button you hit to actually come on and be seen. I think it says click this to be on the show or something like that. A lot of people don't click that because they think they're just going to pop on the screen and everybody's going to see it. That is not actually the case. Once you push that button, I'll see you backstage, and I have to actually click a button to bring you on. So, Adam, if you're worried about that, man, you're not going to pop right out there. I'll see you backstage and bring you on. And Chris Pierce said, ever quit snowing or raining up here? The wind stops blowing. Yeah, all that stuff. It could be 80 one day and snow in the next in the Midwest. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy weather. But yeah, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. You know, you're in Tornado Alley, the Midwest. You got crazy weather every spring. So that's kind of expected. So I just want to pop this up there one more time. The Great South Dakota State Fair will be there Monday, September the 1st. That is light modified tractors. That is light super stock ag tractors. That is light supers, the Alki supers. That That is modified four-wheel drives. Light Pro 540 Light Pros will be there as well. So I know they're pretty jacked up there at the South Dakota State Fair. Pretty excited to get us back in there and got things squared away. Be there for the first time again in 6 years. So bear with me here for just a moment. I'll see if Adam is ready to go. He might be having some computer issues. I'm not sure. And if we can't get him on here, then we'll try this again next Tuesday night. We'll go ahead and watch the video again here. I'll give him a minute or two to. 2 weeks of promotion out of this deal for the Dark Knight. We don't have the bio for you, and we can't seem to get you lined out here in the green room. Let's see. Colin Dahl. Did Arlington, Nebraska not make the cut for the season schedule? One of the big surprises for me when the tentative schedule was released. They decided not to have a poll this year. So, yeah, that was kind of decided early on when we first started reaching out to promoters and such that they decided they weren't going to have it. So Marty Samuelson, the de facto mayor of Ravenna, Nebraska. 80 on Monday, 36 inches of snow and 50-mile-an-hour winds. Wow, seriously? That's tonight? 3 to 6 inches of snow and 50-mile-an-hour winds. That's insane. 2 days, or yesterday, it was 80? Wow. That's insane. What's new out there in the polling world? What's the scuttlebutt out there? What's the rumor mill saying out there, folks? Who goes to watches or keeps tabs on Full Pull online, or the pull-off, I'm sorry, the pull-off page online? I know you catch a lot of scuttlebutt on there, true or not. Yeah, there's a lot of it on there. Adam, technology isn't my friend tonight. I figured you might be having some issues there. If so, we'll get it figured out for next week. Adam, if you can't get it figured out here in the next couple of minutes. I don't have the bio. It didn't get downloaded here, so I don't have it as well. So we'll bring you on again next week, Adam. Shoot, we may have 2 on next week. Who knows? So I seen Chuck Cleveland was in here a little bit earlier. Chuck, are you thinking about buying a set of those wheels for your pickup? Kevin Davis is in here. Kevin, how long are you just now coming on? This is not like you to check in 10 minutes before we go off air here. Usually you're Johnny on the spot here. You're one of the first ones online. Oh man, you're just coming out. I feel very unimportant right now. I'm just going to tell you. Feeling very unimportant. So if you were too much drama on pull off, I don't go in there unless it is for sale items. I haven't been on there in a long time, honestly. It's it always seems to be a lot of drama, a lot of scuttlebutt, which I think maybe some of it is true, some of it's not. Busy. All right. If you're going to come on here, Kevin, you're going to have to be honest. All right. That's just one of the rules of the show. All right. Can't be blowing smoke up anybody's dress here. All right. So we appreciate you tuning in, Kevin. All the fans out there, appreciate all of you tuning in and watching the show. So Kevin Davis, of course, at the Wayne County Fair in Wayne, Nebraska. Big show this year. 13 classes there this year. Always a big crowd. Always a lot of iron there. Always a great show. And free barbecue. If you're a fan out there, you want to go to Tractor Pull and eat for free, get free barbecue at the Wayne County Fair Tractor Pull. Just saying. Always a big hit. Cool on all the case tractors may not have the gear choices, man. They can sure lug and grunt on the big end. I agree. I was raised on case tractors, man. That was Grandpa. That's all he ever had: case tractors and some farmalls here and there. But always liked the case tractors. Always liked the looks of them too. So, what's the favorite pull? What's the big pull everybody's going to go to this year? Who all's going to Ravenna, Nebraska, to kick the season off, the season opener there in Ravenna? Who's going to Lindsay, Texas? I know Doug Voth has been doing some social media work down there, and got a lot of the folks that normally go to the White Right pull every June. And of course, they took the weekend that White Right gave up. And a lot of those folks said, well, heck, we'll just go on over to Lindsay. I mean, honestly, if you're in Dallas, I don't think it's a longer drive. Doug, you can correct me on here, but one is east and one is west, coming off the Highway 35 there. So not a long drive out of the way from White Right, Texas for anyone, fans or pullers, to be honest. And I think, Doug, in talking to you and in talking to Cody Lee, I mean, you guys are this is something you're working on to keep it going every year and grow that event there. I mean, it completely sucked that we lost White Right. And of course, that was simply because the gentleman that owned White Right was asking more money to rent those grounds, and it was getting unreasonable. So he just decided he was going to make an RV park out of it. So unfortunately, this would have been the 50th year of White Right, Texas, if we could have made it go one more year. So Marty, no, I think everything at Ravenna is the same classes as last year. So no changes on classes there. Doug, pretty darn close to the same. Yeah, that's about what I was thinking. Yeah. So, but I saw that post you put out there about the pull. It's been a couple of months ago, I think. And you did pick up a lot of the folks that went to White Right and they were tagging other people that went to White Right, and everybody was just saying, we'll just go over there. So I think you're probably going to have a pretty big crowd there. So I hope you're ready. Have enough gate people and have some concessions ready to go, and have somebody ready to park some cars. I think you're going to have a big crowd in Lindsay, Texas. And also, that'll be the debut for our super stock diesel pickup class down there as well. That'd be cool. And of course, that'll all be live on Full Pull Live. Of course, as most of you know, that Full Pull Live and Outlaw Pulling TV combined. So there is no more Outlaw Pulling TV. That switch is happening right now. If you have Outlaw Pulling TV, that's all going to migrate over. The only thing you'll have to do is you'll get an email, and it'll just ask you to change your password. That's it. Same price, and you get more pulling content to watch throughout pulling season, throughout the off season as well, because you'll have the NTPA hooks, the Full Pull Live catches, as well as the Outlaw hooks, as well as some of the off season stuff. Let's say in November, the pull out in California, the MLM pulls, the TNT indoor pulls in Kentucky, some of the pulls down in Florida and such. So you're going to have a heck of a lot more pulling content for the same price. So no increase in price, and it'll have a different name. It's going to be called Full Pull Live. Dawson Addington hoping to make it to Ravenna with the light mods, switch into the T53 turbine. How's that coming along? I heard you were getting that done at Nebraska Gas Turbine with Cody, and that'd be cool. Chuck Cleveland having technical difficulties too, but maybe yes on the wheels as far as buying some, getting some new wheels to put on the Pro Stock pickup there. I was working on sponsorship for the Lindsay Tractor Pull, also working on sponsorship for the Griffin. If you know anyone, contact me on Facebook as Zook Fukerberg, the Griffin Growl tractor. So looking for sponsorships there. All right, guys. Adam Serb not going to be able to come on tonight. Of course, we're running out of time here. We will run over if we need to sometimes if we have a lot of stuff going on. But we'll get him on next week. We'll get those technical difficulties ironed out, and we'll bring Adam back, and we'll have the bio and everything, and we'll talk to the man as well. How about that? So big thanks to Wade Huisman for coming on from Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, Kaiser Racing Wheels, newest sponsor to the Outlaws. Great addition to our sponsor lineup. Great quality wheels, the best looking pulling wheels out there. I promise you, they're beautiful wheels. Dawson says it's coming together good. Hope to get it down to Columbus in May to test before we come up north. Columbus, down in Columbus, Texas. Okay. Awesome. That'd be awesome. So, all right, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate every one of you out there in Outlaw Nation, all the super fans out there. Thanks so much for the comments. Thanks so much for tuning in every Tuesday night. Love you all out there. We'll see you next Tuesday on Outlaw Live.
Wow. Check. Make sure Chuck's all right there. They're going to check Chuck out. Catastrophic engine damage. I think the top part of the motor. I believe he probably split the block in half right there. 234.53. Folks, give Chuck a round of applause. They said he's just fine, but the only thing hurting is his pocketbook right now. That is going to be an expensive fix. Missouri Buffalo's Chip. And here we go. They're underway. Cheer them on. Let's go. The big chicken, he's in the lead. They're coming. 300 feet. Here we go.
Hey, guys, Robin's racing. Robin's racing.
Close.
Just saying.
Oh, the big chicken, he's got him. Oh no.